Hi all, welcome to my YouTube channel, Know About Embedded System. So in today's video, we will understand what do you mean by structure pointer in C programming. So this topic is also very important with respect to your interview, the structure pointers. So before starting the video, if you're a new viewer to my channel, kindly subscribe my YouTube channel and gain the knowledge on embedded system. Let us start the video, structure pointers in C programming. So guys, I already told this is also one of the most expected interview question. What do you mean by structure pointers and how it is used? So first of all, we should understand what is the meaning or a definition of a structure pointer. The name itself says that structure pointer. So basically structure pointer is a pointer which is used to store the address of any structure. So try to understand here the definition of this structure pointer. Structure pointer is a pointer variable that is going to store the address of any structure variable. So now I will show you with the coding here. I have one structure, the base structure by the name called as a student here, and then I have structure variable here. I have created the array of structure as like previous programming. I have created array of structure and by the name called as stud. So by the variable called studs here. So now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create one more variable here. You can see, so there is a variable called as struct student star stud pointer. I'm going to create one structure pointer with the help of star stud pointer, which is of type of student. So now this will become a structure pointer, and to this structure pointer I have to store the address of your structure. So now what I'm doing here in the last line of code, you can see here what I'm doing. Stud pointer is equal to address of your student structure. So this is called as structure pointer. A pointer which will store the address of your structure is called as structure pointer. So what is the advantage of this structure pointer? So this advantage of this structure pointers or a pointer to structure is directly instead of sending complete structure, we can send we can pass directly with a pointer. So no need to, whenever you want to pass anything to other function, like whenever you want to pass the structure information, then directly you can pass its pointer instead of passing the entire structure. This is the big advantage, and where we will be using all this, the structure pointer. The structure pointers are used especially in the dynamic memory allocation. Whenever you're going to use your linked list, queues, stacks, and so on, so we are going to use our structure pointer. And even whenever you want to create a student database, employee database, we are going to use this structure pointer. And how do you initialize the structure pointer? It's very simple, pretty simple. I have already explained. If you want to declare or if you want to initialize structure pointer, this is the way, very simple. So we have to define one pointer that should be type of your structure here, like this. The student is my base structure, so that's why I'm going to create one pointer, start stud pointer, and then which is a type of student. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to allocate the address of studs to student pointer. Okay, so in this way we can declare the structure pointer, and then we can use the address of your structure to the structure pointer. So how do you access these structure pointers? The structure pointers can be accessed by two ways. One is as usual dot operators and one with the arrow operator. So specifically whenever you're using a pointer, we have to use arrow operator. Usually structures are accessed by dot operator, but whenever you're going to use a pointer, we have to use an arrow operator. How to use that I will show you with one coding example. So I hope at least you understood with the definition of a structure pointer. Now let us see one coding example. With that we will understand how we can develop the code for a structure. So guys, here as usual I have considered previous example which I have shown in the previous video. I have one student structure here. I have created one student structure with the three parameters or three structure members. One is a roll number, one is a name, and one is a max. Three parameters I have included in the structure, student structure. And in the main code, I'm going to create one structure variable by studs by creating array of structure. So this time I'm taking four elements or four array structure I'm taking here by the name called Rahul, Sneha, and so on with a different parameters. So this is as usual, you know that as you know that in the previous video. Now the important thing, how can I create the structure pointer? The structure pointer can be created with a star followed by the pointer name, and that should be the type of your base structure. Now the student is my base structure type, and I'm going to use star stud pointer. This is the first thing. And second thing is I need to assign the address to the student pointer. Now you can see here the studs is my structure and address I'm assigning to student pointer. Only this much we have to do. And second thing, important thing is how do you access the member, or how do you access the using structure pointer, how do you access that point we will see. So if you want to print student information, I'm going to use this time our arrow. This is what I told in the previous explanation. So whenever you want to access structure pointer, we have to use arrow notation or arrow operator. You can see here stud pointer is my, so this is my structure pointer. I'm going to use that structure pointer here in the whenever I want to access my structure member, stud pointer. So this is how I'm going to access stud pointer followed by arrow, then followed by structure member, right? So like that, roll number, name, marks with the arrow operator. So important thing is arrow operator here. Now let us run this code, and we will check whether we will able to print or not. So I'll just run the code here for a minute. Now you can see I'm able to print the first member of my structure, the first element of my structure, right? So first element is Rahul, and roll number is 101 and grade is 89. So that means at least I'm able to print the one complete element of my structure. So this is how we're going to access the structure pointer. And one more important thing is, since the structure pointers like currently it is pointing to the first element of your structure array or array of structure. If you want to print the second and third elements, know what we have to do. Just we have to add, as usual, one for loop. We have to add it, and this time I'm going to use pointer plus plus. So stud pointer, whatever I'm going to take, so that I'm going to increment for one next element. I'll be incrementing to the next element. So this is very important. So line number 31. So whenever you increment student pointer plus plus, it will go to the next element of your structure. So when you do the increment, it will go and point to the next element of the structure. This is what we have to understand. If you do not increment your pointer, it will be always staying to the first element of your structure array, right? So that is the reason I have taken two examples, without increment and with increment. So previously I have shown you without increment, it was going to print only the first element, right? And now this time I'm going to increment the structure pointer, and let us check so how it is going to execute the code. Now you can see it is able to print all four elements of your structure array. So first one is 101 Rahul, 102 Sneha, 103 Aman, and 104 Rama. So that means, so your structure pointer we have to increment. So this is one thing you should know whenever you want to access a different member of our structure array or a different element of the structure. So we have to increment so that it will go and point to the next element of your structure array, and arrow operator. So this is also one of the important thing you should know. So in this way, you can use a structure pointer or a pointer structure in your C programming, and same thing we will be using in our embedded C programming as well. So I hope this video is clear to all. If you feel this video is informative video, please click on like button and subscribe my YouTube channel.